Hello everyone and welcome to another FxEdge Power Hour. I am Marcello Ducille. Today is February 19th, 2013. We're going to do today what I've done for years, which is an analysis of the markets and evaluation of our strategies, which are based upon the 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time close of our daily bars and our 4-hour bars. Thereafter, we will have a brief questions and answers session, so let's go ahead and get started. What's been going on in our charts here? We're going to talk about it right now. Basically, guys, we have what seems to be a buy that's developed here on the euro yen, on the yen pairs. But let's start here with our euro dollar. So our euro dollar, guys, basically we talked about a bounce off of this 50 MA. We expected things to move a little bit faster. But as you can see here, we come right out of the apex and prices kind of move sideways, but it's still moving to the upside. So we have had a respect of that trend line, that lower trend line here, and of the 50 EMA that's right under there, and so in the 38.2 fib area. So that was actually a very, very strong area for us to take a buy off of if you were going to consider doing so. But we haven't. We've had some movement. You know, we do have some positive movement here on this euro dollar, but we don't have you know, the big move that we expected to the upside here. So we're going to keep on watching this euro dollar and see where it goes. But certainly there's a buy bias here for us. All right, so let's look at the dollar Swiss here again. Dollar Swiss gives some very decent plays here. Yesterday and all of last week, we pretty much talked about. Or the last few days of last week, we talked about the 9250 area being a very good area of support of resistance for us, and we also talked about right under here the 9200 area. 9205 was our area of support. So support and resistance 9200, 9250, and you can see that we had another day that was well within those areas. So 9250 was our high that we were expecting, and price went to 9247. And 9205 was our low, and price went here to 9213. So we really had a very narrow band on the dollar Swiss of just 34 pips, but it really just stayed right in line with areas of support and resistance that we had documented previously. And if you look on a lower time frame, you would have seen opportunities there. You know, just even to take just a few pips here, just to show you. Looking at that upper range here, that 9248 area that we have at the top, you can see it right here. You can see a beautiful reversal candle, sell, and that would have been a very nice trade all the way down. So, you know, these plays are solid. They give us great opportunities. It's really going to be up to you whether you take advantage of them or not. You know, some of these plays that I put out there and I do give to you. All right, so the pound dollar, let's take a look at that. Pound dollar actually continues to move down. Pound dollar is once again right at this low here at 154.50, between the 15400 and 154.50 area, and you know, it just continues to fall. So what we've got to do is we've got to kind of establish some trend lines here, because we've had repeated bounces off of this, and we need a an upper trend line here to kind of establish what we've got going on here on this pound dollar. And so that's pretty much going to be our negative force trend line here. It's going to be pushing down on it. It's going to be our resistance trend line here on the pound dollar, and that's where we should be looking to see some kind of action, some kind of market activity, and as you can see here, based on this area of support resistance that we also have here, we're right in an apex there, so we may very well see some good movement, maybe a bounce off this area again and a push downward on the pound dollar. But you know, we've basically been doing the same thing since for the last month and a half on this pound dollar, so for the time being, that is its overall direction. As far as an STP trade, it gave us a sell STP trade. All right, and hit its first take profit, move to break even, and then shut out at break even here on the pound dollar previously. So we did hit profit on that pound dollar sell. Right now we have a pound yen buy, which is actually completely in the opposite direction there. We saw that coming yesterday, and so let me just make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. The good thing about this is that we are kind of bouncing off that 50 EMA. Make this bigger. There we go. We do have this stop here at the low of that area, which would be a very good area of support for us for the time being, and we could very well see price, move up. Obviously, on the day it did sell off, but there's still room for this pound yen to move up here, and so that's what we're going to be looking for. We're going to be waiting to see if we get that kind of action. Right now, with the spread, we came in here with about 5-6 pips of in the negative just getting into the trade, and so we pulled back about 3 pips or so, and so we're at 9 pips down on this trade, and it's just opened up. So we'll have to wait and see where it ends, the pound yen, and that will be tomorrow. We'll be back here and we'll talk about it. Hopefully we'll be talking about profit. Okay, so the Aussie dollar here, we did have a change from red to green, but the change from red to green, it got us into, it was just a little bit too low for us to get into a buy, but you can see here we had a reversal candle on the area of support and resistance. From a discretionary standpoint, it was a great trade to take to the upside, and would have done well up to the 200. We talked about that. I told you about that trade, and it did come to fruition. And you can see here that we're back here at this area of resistance here at the 200 EMA. And so we could be looking for a push down off of it based upon the market interaction that we've seen so far between the Aussie dollar and areas of support and resistance. We could see it really pull off of that 200 EMA, really just bounce right off of it and head back down to the 1.02 to 1.0300 area, basically. All right, so that's what we're going to be looking to see. We'll see where price goes from here without an infusion of new information. There's there's just no way to tell where this is going to go. It's more likely going to just turn back around and continue in its range. All right, so our beloved euro yen. Here again, the euro yen gave us a nice reversal candle, which is actually very close to what we saw in the pound yen, except it's a little bit clearer than the pound yen. And you can see here that we came right out of an apex and sold right out of it, but then we got a bounce right off that sell area, and it looks like price wanted to continue to move up. So far, it's just moving sideways. And so we're going to have to wait and see where that goes from here. But we do have a buy bias still. Obviously, we've had a long-standing buy trend in the euro yen. As far as fundamentals are concerned, the market is poised for fundamentals, meaning that they expect the yen to continue to devalue. The Bank of Japan wants it to be so, and so we should most likely expect to see a move based upon fundamentals to the upside. But we haven't seen the strong move that we expected to see there. So that is what makes us hold back a little bit here. At the same time, we have crossed some very good areas of support and resistance. Here on the 4-hour, just to be clear, we had we have actually a nice falling wedge. It's very apparent here. And so, if you can see it down here, I'm not going to draw it because it's going to confuse us. But that falling wedge is basically a good signal for a buy, and we may have a continuation for a buy side. So as far as that's concerned, we do seem to have some form of a buy sentiment. We do have indications or evidence that there could very well be a buy on the euro yen in the near future. So, that's what we have. That's what we have going on for the time being as far as the STPs are concerned. So to recap, euro dollar is moving up. It's flat in the market right now. Dollar Swiss is flat. It's in the range. Pound dollar is continuing its trending toward the downside. Now we have a nice trend line for us to look toward. So tomorrow, guys, be looking for maybe a bounce point off of 155.84 in that vicinity. That could be a very good bounce for 155.80 for this daily trend line. Pound yen. We have a buy trade that we've just taken, and we're basically in a range here. good point. The good part of this is that we're in the lower part of that range. We could see price break to the upside on this pound yen, hopefully. Aussie dollar is currently flat in the market right now, but it's bouncing off of an area of support, of resistance here at the 200 EMA, or it's up against it. So based upon its prior behavior, if you don't have an injection of new information, we could see that Aussie dollar come back down to 1.0300 to that range. So watch that upper trend line right there, and that's at 1.0375. Not trend line, but that upper EMA. Okay, so 1.0375, and we can see it go down to 1.0300. So that can be a good trade. You have to look on lower time frame to see if that does manifest. All right, Euro Yen again. We are currently in a buy, and we're going to wait and see where price goes from here. Guys, we're just, we're holding on, waiting for some real price action. As you guys know, that's where we really make most of our money, is when the market really takes off and we're in it. And so, we're waiting for one of those, another break, either to the upside or the downside. We really don't care, so we can really start seeing the real profits come in here. So anyway, as far as BW is concerned, we are in some buys, and those buys are currently up. We're up about 40 or 50 pips on a buy that we currently are in for one of our trades, and the Euro Yen, of course, is currently in its current position, which means it's down about 20 pips or so. And that pretty much sums up what we're doing. All right, so looking at the IBO Rev. IBO Rev basically had a beautiful reversal candle here, 60 pips of risk, 70 pips of risk, maximum favorable excursion of 145 pips, and then finally we get closed out here. Okay, so we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Right here was where we got closed out for profit on the second position. Okay, so we're closed out for profit. Oops. Let's try that again. For about 70 pips of profit. So basically 2.5%. We made 2.5% on this trade. All right, so we had a multi IBO here, a pretty big IBO. So this is real consolidation, as you can see here. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars on the inside, which gives us another opportunity for a reversal candle. So you can see this reversal candle that's formed here. This is actually an IBO Rev again. This would be a sell. If the price does break the low of this, it will be a sell bar. It's got 17 pips of risk, so you'll have to wait and see where that goes. Basically, it'll have to break through 133.81. You can see that we're very close. So basically, we may have a sell trade on the IBO Rev with just 20 pips of risk. Okay. So as far as the IBO is concerned, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Quattro, actually. So the FxEdge Quattro has done very, very well. We did well on the way down. We had another opportunity on the way down here. 17 pips of risk. Entry at 133.52, took it down to 133.33, 133.28, which got us out of our first position for profit. Then you can see here we had to change from red to green, and that got us into a buy recently. That buy's got 20 pips of risk. Open of that trade was 133.86, looking for 134.06. So there you have it. We've gone 133.95, and so it's currently basically flat in the market as far as that particular trade is concerned on the FxEdge Quattro, which has done pretty well here. All right, so that's where we're at as far as those trades are concerned. Let's take a look at the IBO. I'll go back to it. So a lot of back and forth movement here on the IBO. We basically closed out a few trades just for barely, well, this one was a profitable trade. Price basically goes up, then comes down, and hits its first take profit. then moves to break even. Here's another one that actually does hit its first take profit again. And here's another trade, this next group or cluster of trades. Basically, price breaks to the low side and then closes just barely negative. And so we close out that trade for a very nominal loss here of probably 0.2 or 0.3%. And that was the last trade that we had as far as the IBO is concerned. We're going to have to wait for another setup. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other charts that we have. What else is going on here? It looks like we had a sell that developed right out of this this ATR sniper. So it actually went in, the price went in the complete opposite direction. This big back and forth movement actually triggered our ATR sniper, and you can see here that we did take a hit here. We're up about 2 or 3%. So we'll have to wait and see what the next opportunity that we have in the ATR sniper. I already see a way that I can make this trade a little bit better just looking at it now. So I'm going to do that, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this, as we go forward, because we've seen it, come up quite a bit. And I see the potential, if we get a real runaway trade here, how well this particular strategy can really do. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so the other thing, of course, is our looks like we got into a buy here on the euro-dollar triple threat. And we are moved to break even. So the buy was down here. All right, so we hit our first take profit. $133.64 was our entry. Price hit its first take profit, moved to break even, and now we're currently up 22 pips on the triple threat 3X. All right, so I'm going to take some questions here. Carlos, do me a favor and send us a screenshot, but I think it's because you have the ATR sniper on, you had it on 2 different trades at the same time. You had it on 2 different charts. But please send us a screenshot so that we can take a look and make sure that's there's nothing wrong there. If you have it on 2 charts, it's going to catch. They're going to both take at the same time, and they may not monitor or see that other trade that does come on. So you got to be careful that you don't have it on multiple charts. That can cause a problem. Nevertheless, it could be us as well. So please send me a message and let me take a look at that for you, and I can be able to tell you, I'll tell you what's going on. In fact, I'll have my staff keep me in the loop on that one. Just make sure that you don't have multiple charts open, because that generally is the issue. The reason I say that is I'm not trying to be cocky, but the trade management that we're using is basically the same trade management that we've had and we have in most of our software. So it's been, I've been doing this for a long time. So this is pretty much a very stable configuration. And so that's why I'm more likely to believe that there's, you know, there's probably a chart that's open because I've seen it before. Okay, well, we'll definitely take a look at that and get back to you on it. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time. Yeah, actually, it is a stop and reverse. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. So I was trying to figure out what that trade was. It's actually stop and reverse. We got stopped out on the triple threat 3x sell, and then we just got into a buy. And you can see that the triple threat 3x sell is right here. Actually, I can see it now. So basically, price goes in our direction just barely. Then we get into a buy as price moves to stop loss to break even. And now we're in that buy. We hit our first take profit. And the second position is open, and we're going to let that run. I hope it just keeps on moving up. I hope it moves up very strongly and keeps us in this triple threat 3x so we can, you know, make some good profits here. All right, guys, with that, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, Wednesday, for another edition of the FxEdge Power Hour. Hopefully we'll have more to talk about and watch the unfoldment of these events. We'll see if the yen does depreciate a little bit more and give us a nice push on the pound yen and the euro yen. It would be nice to see that right now, and of course, you know, the other trades as well. So I look forward to seeing you guys later. All the best. Happy trading. Bye bye.